Hi dear children, good morning. How are you? Hope you're all fine. The other day we were discussing about the first unit, section 1, through a colored glass. The unit name was When I Was a Child, and we were doing with Through a Colored Glass, section 1. And the other day we were discussing about apologizing, isn't it? I have given some opportunities for you to say those dialogues. Those who have a confusion with telling apologies, that is actually when we are finding a mistake in our part, we have to say sorry actually. And for that, we will use different terms. Some terms are very clearly given in the text itself. You can say I'm sorry, and otherwise you can say I'm very sorry, I'm extremely sorry, I'm so sorry. Those two usages are very good, apt, for suitable for the situation. And when somebody says sorry, what will you say as an answer? Of course, you must answer them. Okay, when you say sorry, tell them that it's not a problem, you can clear it up and can come as a good child. That you have to say actually. How can you say that? You can say it basically, it's all right, doesn't matter, no problem. And some other usages also given here. That's all right, never mind. Those all usages can be expressed very clearly by you when somebody says a sorry to you. Hope you are clear about it. Okay, now we'll go for the next next lesson, section 2 in unit 1, a visit to the doctor. And before that, have you ever been to the hospital? Have you taken an injection? What was the time when you take an injection last? Or are you a regular visitor to the doctor? Okay, have you ever been a part of a surgery? Have you ever been undergone a surgery? What is anesthesia? Long time ago, before anesthesia was invented, what was the technique of doing a surgery? How the people got unconscious before their surgery? What was the technique the doctor used? These are all the questions in our mind when we are thinking about doctors and hospitals, isn't it? And you can have a search in the internet to find out those different ways. We'll discuss it when we are going with the interactive session. Now we are going for the lesson, a visit to the doctor. This is a lesson, and this is a small story actually of a small boy who got a situation to undergo a surgery. Okay? Just start the lesson. I'm going to read the first part of the lesson and you can listen to me now. Okay, I'm going to read it. And this lesson is by Roald Dahl. And this is a beautiful story actually. Listen to me while I'm reading. Okay. A visit to the doctor can be very frightening one for a little child, especially when he sees needles, knives and scissors lying around. Now the narrator says that for a small boy, it is very frightening to visit a doctor when he could see the knives, scissors, needles all spread around. That will be really frightening, isn't it? And here the child is also telling that it is a frightening experience for him. I once had to make a visit to a doctor for an operation when I was with my grandparents in Oslo in Norway, and I have never forgotten it. Now we can very clearly say that the story happens in Oslo in Norway. It's a western country actually, and when the child was staying with his grandparents, he wanted to visit the doctor for an operation once in his life when he was a child. Okay, that's what he says here in the first paragraph. He was a small child only and he wanted to visit the doctor. Why? Because he wanted to go for a surgery, an operation. That's what. For that he wanted to visit the doctor and he was staying with his grandparents at that time. Okay, let us see what is happening there. And I have never forgotten it. The child says that, the narrator says that he had never forgotten the experience of going to the doctor to have a surgery. It was such a, what we will say, frightening or thrilling experience for him. We will see what it is. Was it frightening or thrilling? Okay. We were visiting my grandparents' house during the summer holidays when my mother said to me, we are going to the doctor this afternoon. He wants to look at your mouth and nose. Now listen, on one day when they were on a visit to their grandparents, who were they? The child was there and his grandmother also was there. They went to their grandma's house, and when they were there in their grandparents' house, one evening mother said, today we are going to have a consult with the doctor. We are going to visit the doctor. I want the doctor to check with your nose and your mouth. Mother felt some problem there, isn't it? Now doctor wanted to check his nose and his mouth. He wants to look at your mouth and nose. What is wrong with my mouth and nose? I asked. It's quite natural, no? Children will ask, what is wrong with my mouth? What is wrong with my nose? I think I have no such problems. Why are you taking it such seriously? I have no such problem. I don't want to go to the doctor. The child was not ready to so happy to go to the doctor. Nothing much, my mother said. But I think you have got adenoids. What is the spells? Let us see that. A-D-E-N-O-I-D-S. Adenoids means a problem which is there in the back of the nose and the mouth, where the point where it is connected. There is a point before throat actually where nose and mouth are connected, and there the mother suspects a growth. That's what is adenoids. Okay, and that's what mother suspects as the problem for the child. And the meaning is very clearly given here in the box. You have to write that in the notebook. Okay. Now we'll continue. Now that was a difficult word for an 8-year-old. So I asked her, what are they? He was only an 8-year-old child and he didn't know what is adenoids. So he asked, what are they? He was really confused. He didn't even heard the word before. So she told me not to worry about it as it was nothing. But mother said, hey, no problem. You don't want to worry about it. It's nothing. Okay? Be careful. We are going to the doctor. That's all about today. That's what the mother said. She wanted to console the small child. I held her hand as we walked to the doctor's house. When we got there, I was lifted up into a kind of dentist chair in the treatment room. Now listen, they went to the doctor. Who went to the doctor? The mother and the child. They went to the doctor, and on the way the child was holding his mother's hand very tightly when they were reaching the doctor's house, because he was a little afraid actually. He's only 8 years old, you know, not even up to you, smaller than you. So he was really scared of consulting a doctor. Okay, and then when they reached the doctor make him sat on a chair. You might have gone to the dentist, isn't it? There's a chair which can be adjusted, the height can be adjusted, the pushing back can be adjusted, all those things. Such a chair was prepared there, and the boy was lifted into the chair and the doctor adjusted everything. Now he felt like, we may feel that it looks like the house of a dentist, and you can see the picture over here, how the chair looked like and all. You can see the picture here. Have a look at this one. Okay. And that was in his treatment room. Don't forget that. Okay. The doctor had a round mirror strapped to his forehead, and he looked into my mouth and up my nose. The doctor, those who have gone to the dentist or such doctors will understand, they may fix a light onto their forehead, and because instead of using the torch with their hand, they will use this. Actually it will be a sharp light also, and here also the doctor had such a light, and then he looked at the mouth of the small boy and at the nose also through the light. Now let's go to the next page. We'll go for page number 20 now. I'm going to continue read. Listen to me, okay? When he took my mother to one side and had a quiet talk with her, I saw my mother looking very serious as she agreed to what he was suggesting. Now listen, after looking his nose and his throat, the doctor called his mother to the side and they started talking. The boy was looking seriously at the mother because he didn't know what they were talking. But the mother was looking at the doctor's face very seriously and was agreeing with whatever the doctor was suggesting as a treatment maybe. Now the boy was not at all happy because the doctor is telling something which he cannot hear. You will also be scared, isn't it, when the doctor says something hiding from you? That is not nice actually. Now let us go for the next paragraph. Let us see what is going to happen, okay? I watched the doctor as he boiled some water in a metal mug. He then placed a long, thin, shiny instrument in it. I was not frightened or worried as I was too young to realize that something out of the ordinary was going to happen. Now the child was looking very calmly because he didn't know what is going to happen. The doctor was doing some things there. What was he doing? Boiled some water in a metal mug. Doctor took some water and boiled it in a metal mug. He was going to do something, isn't it? And he then placed a long, thin, shiny instrument in it. He took a long, shiny, thin instrument from the area and then he put it in the boiling water. Why is it? For sterilizing it, isn't it? And then the boy was looking at whatever the doctor was doing because he was not frightened actually. He didn't know what is going on around him. He is a small child only, no? So he didn't know what is going to happen around him. So he was not at all frightened. He was quite cool and calm. So he was just looking at the things what he was doing, the doctor was doing. Then a nurse entered. She tied a red rubber apron around my neck. It was very big. Then she held a curved bowl under my chin, its curve filling perfectly against my chest. Now listen, in a sudden a nurse entered and she started preparing the boy for something, for the treatment. Okay, what was the nurse doing? He tied an apron on his body. Around his neck she tied an apron and it was very big actually. And then she held a curved bowl under my chin. Near her chin she kept a curved bowl. A bowl was kept near there and the curve fitting perfectly against my chest. And the fitting was perfectly against his chest actually. Nurse was setting all those things for the treatment. The doctor bent over me holding that long, shiny instrument, and to this day I can remember it perfectly. It was as thick as a pencil and had many sides to it. As the end, the metal became much thinner, and in this was set a metal blade at an angle. Now listen, when the nurse set everything, the doctor came to him. There was something kept for boiling, no? The doctor took that and prepared that ready for the treatment. Now doctor took that thin instrument. It was looking like a pencil having many sides on it. And then when the boy looked, it was getting narrowed into one end and there was a blade on the narrowed end also. Now the boy was not understanding what is going to happen there. He was not too much tensed also because he didn't understand what is going to happen in his surrounding. What is the doctor going to do for him? And everything was set and the doctor was going to start the treatment. The blade was just a centimeter long. 1 centimeter long blade was there. Very small, very sharp and very shiny. It was very small actually but very sharp and it was shining also. The doctor said in Norwegian, "Open your mouth." In a Norwegian language, doctor said the boy to open the mouth. So they were in Norway actually, that's why they were using Norwegian language. I refused as I thought he was going to do something to my teeth, and from my past experience I knew that it would be painful. Now listen, the boy had an experience with going to dentist actually, and when the doctor said to open his mouth, automatically the boy was really frightened actually, because he went to the doctor and the doctor had some treatment with his teeth and he thought this doctor also is going to continue with such things actually, going to have a treatment with his teeth. So he refused to open his mouth. He was not ready to open his mouth. And he was really scared also. And the doctor spoke again very gently, and like a fool, I agreed to open my mouth. It won't take 2 seconds, he said. Now listen, when the boy refused, the doctor understood what really happens in the mind of the boy. Now the doctor smiled at him, then said it once more in a cool volume voice actually. The boy, he was like a fool actually. He just opened it without, means other than agreeing to the doctor, he had no other way because his mother is also agreeing with whatever the doctor is going to do. Now he opened the mouth like a fool, and then what happened? The doctor said, hey, it will be a very small thing only. It won't take even more than 2 seconds. The doctor was not at all worried about what he is going to do. Okay, now let us see the continuation on the next class. We'll go for a winding up now for this session. Hope you understood all these points actually. It was all about the experience of a small child with a doctor, and let us see what is going to happen in the next class. We'll wind up it. Thank you. Have a nice day.